Can we talk about the tenement building thing? Because that was such a good metaphor that I really wanted to elaborate on. I don't even know if you're going to use it, but I just want to get it out into the open. My brain is like a tenement building, and all of the characters live in their respective apartments. And when we get a new tenant, they don't know the rules. And sometimes there aren't a lot of rules, they're just unspoken rules, but they haven't been living there long enough to know what those rules are. So I have a new tenant. He's been living here for about a year, and he doesn't know the rules. And every day, he knocks on my door and asks to borrow a cup of sugar. He asks me if I want a drink. And we're very close. We're very tight. But I've tried to explain to him that I'm working with another tenant on a book. And when we finish the book, the new tenant knows that we will then move on to his. But things were a little bit rough there for a little bit. And that is the equivalent, for me, of writer's block. It's not that I can't sit down and write. Because I could, and I did. Throughout the month of January, I would get, a page out, or 2 pages out, or I would sit down for an evening and, type out 5 pages, and then I'd let it rest for another 3 weeks. Because every day, Marcello would knock on the door and ask for a cup of sugar. That's what I wanted to drink. So have you listened to this aria lately? Listen to this song? Have you watched this movie? No, I don't have time for that. Just finish the first book. I don't know you. In my head, it was a good metaphor. I have a really weird relationship with my creativity and my inspiration. The inception of that is with my characters, the characters that I find in my books and my stories and everything. It's not like I have in my mind something that I want to make and then I go out and make it like a plot I want to instill or something I want to get across. It's that I have these, because I don't hear voices, I don't hallucinate visually, it's not part of but I have characters, and my characters have personalities, and they communicate with me creatively, and they communicate with me in creative ways that they translate in my art. So more so, I'm a vessel for them to get out their stories and their feelings and their thoughts and their lives. They don't have any connection to this world other than me. And I feel that they're very real, and I feel that their emotions and the stuff that they face they can be universal feelings and universal trials and tribulations and whatnot. And I feel like it's important for them to get their stories out because it might connect to somebody else who's not me, who's not a 21-year-old girl living in Manhattan. There are other people out there in the world, and some of them come to me.
So these people, these characters, in these situations are always with you. Like
Always.
Close the Word document and you're like, okay, I'm going to go do this now.
Oh, there's no way. There's no closing the Word document. You never close the Word document. Every time I'm out doing something, I look at somebody and think, oh, Sophie would do that. Like, you never close the Word document. It's a constant struggle. I even dream about them, too. They're everywhere. It's awful. I know.
What is art to you?
I'm art. I'm totally serious.
And you as a person?
Yeah, I think I'm art. I think everything that I do is art. I think everything that I want to do is art. Everything that I feel is art. Everything that I write is art. Every time I leave the house wearing a certain kind of makeup or dressed in a certain way, I am art. Every time that I walk down the East River and I see something particularly beautiful, that is art. But then the art becomes me. I'm art. So I'm art. And everybody's art. I think that art is... I don't think anybody should be that particular about what's art and what's not art. I think everything's art. The way this started was I would walk, and then my legs would get tired, and I would say, okay, I'm going to start walking home, but I don't want to walk home the same way that I came. And the river is like one of my favorite, because I used to walk to 23rd, and then I would walk up the river, and then I would walk back home when I lived at 33rd Street, and when I moved over here, I started walking down here. But I don't really know how this became a ritual. I just kind of found my body doing this, and my mind just kind of went along with it. Like, okay, this is a nice 2-hour break. It's good exercise. It's good stimulation. I get to see a part of the city that I like, and I get to see a part of the city that kind of grounds me. Sometimes I sit here and think. Mostly I think when I walk. I don't like to think when I'm sitting still. I don't like to be... This is the Sagittarius in me. I don't like to think when I'm sitting still. Or when I'm laying down, I don't like to think. I like to think when I'm walking, and I like to think when I'm driving. I like to think when I'm moving. I've always been this way when I was a kid. I used to listen to my little CD player, and I used to look out the window and imagine that... I think a lot of kids do this, the person running next to the car, but I would imagine scenes going on as the person was running along with me. I would imagine them talking to somebody. I would imagine, like, I would have to have that motion, or else I wouldn't have the same amount of, I guess, creative energy. So when I sit, I write. If I was thinking about something, I'll write about it. And it's rarely autobiographical. It's mostly about the book now. I'm mostly just trying to get that in order. You know, it's so funny. If I could write and walk at the same time, I would do it. I would totally do it. Because I can't, I don't know, I guess it's a pain thing. That when I walk, sometimes stuff hurts, but I'll keep walking because I have to keep walking. Or else I'll fall down, and then I won't be happy. I like the river in motion thing, though. I like the being by something moving in order to... Although I do write in my room when it's totally stagnant in the middle of the night. It's polar opposite. Totally. It's... Because when I write in my room, it's more of a... It's not a job, but it's on the computer, so it feels quite a bit different than writing by hand out in public than when you're kind of holed up in your little tapestry-draped cave, you know, typing away on your computer at 3 o'clock in the morning because you can't fall asleep. In natural lighting, in fresh air, there's a certain amount of alertness that being outside gives you, that being inside doesn't give you, and when your body is exhausted, your mind goes to stranger places. It's a little bit of a loaded question, that every place inspires work in one way or another, whether the artist knows about it or not. And places in particular all have energy. When you're sitting here and you see the gray of the tile contrasted with the gray of the river, contrasted with the orange that the sun is casting on the dilapidated buildings across the bridge, you're gonna get an energy. You're gonna feel something aesthetically that's going to impact you differently than if you were sitting in a room with red light bulbs that was warm and that you were covered in blankets. You get different energy everywhere, and I think it totally impacts the way that artists perform, in that they don't even realize it, in that some of the most subconscious, unconscious, whatever you want to call it, mechanisms at play will be on display in their work, whether they know it or not. It's impossible to not be impacted by something physically in a place. Like, that happens to me. Like, I'll be walking somewhere and the light will hit a building a certain way, and I'll be like, this is a moment. This is great. I feel this. I feel this happening.